It was a somber day in the old Wobblyville. The sun was going down and night was upon us all. Without hesitation, I quickly made my way to the Wobbly Museum. I greeted the clerk at the front desk with a nice howdy do. I stumbled into the back room to look at my completed collection. Something was missing. I gazed in awe at my golden pants, wishing I too could one day wear such golden pants. With the night quickly approaching, I got to work. I decided to begin my search looking for the missing dinosaur arm bone. Sources had previously told me that the dinosaur arm bone would be located somewhere on the main land, so I headed quickly to the treasure hunting store. I parked my helicopter, completely blocking traffic that would surely be passing by soon. I entered the store. I said, "How do you do?" And I accepted the treasure hunting job. I opened my map. I scrolled it out. I had to go to a very specific location, somewhere up there. So I grabbed my metal fighter thingy. I headed out the door with great anticipation, and I ran. I ran through the city as fast as I could, like Willy Wonka holding the golden ticket. I walked about 3 feet before getting tired, so I summoned my monster truck. I placed my metal finder in the back there, and then I headed out for what would surely be a very successful artifact hunting day. I got to the proper location and quickly ran around, listening for any beeps and any boops that might be present. I ran around on the beach because surely treasure would be hidden down here by the beach. However, I was wearing sandals without socks and the sand was getting betwixt my toes. I was quickly growing quite frustrated with all this sand. I decided to wash my toesies off in the water real quick, and then when I re-emerged onto the sand, it turned into mud. I now had mud feet. Suddenly, out of the distance, an ice cream truck. And then I realized I wasn't holding my metal finder, and I ran around in a panic because where would I have dropped it? I honestly have no idea or recollection of dropping the treasure hunter thingy. At this point, I felt really stupid. I felt like giving up, but I would retrace my steps this way. At this point, all the neighbors were looking out their window and laughing at me, so I quickly jumped into my monster truck and went back to the treasure store, and I bought a new one because I made boo-boo. With my brand new metal finder, I stood in the middle of the streets and I taunted everyone around me. I didn't lose it, and this is totally not a new one that I bought, and everybody who thought I lost it was stupid, and that I was the king of treasure hunting, and I would surely find the treasures that are hidden in this town. And suddenly, a mysterious booping sound. The treasure was close, and I was tingling with anticipation. The boops were getting louder and louder. It appeared to be over here somewhere. Maybe over here a little bit? Right outside someone's private property. Completely legal to dig here. I took out my shovel. I began to dig. And I waited. What would be? Trash. The ice cream man was here, though. After eating ice cream, I had returned to the treasure shop once again. I talked to the fine gentleman at the desk. I told him his map was broken and wrong, so he sold me another one, and I foolishly accepted it. This treasure map led me directly to the center of the city, and I wondered to myself, how could treasure be buried underneath cement? And if it was, how would I dig it up? I figured I would find out as the time came, and I continued searching for that bestowed treasures. I searched alleyway and alleyway. I ran through the streets. I even thought about going down into the subway. But I then decided that if treasure was going to be buried, it would probably be buried in the dirt and grassy areas. So I switched my searching gears over to this direction. And then I heard it. A slight boop coming from what appeared to be this direction. With great determination, I ran towards the beeps as fast as I could. The beeps were getting louder and louder, and I overshot. Over here, perhaps? Maybe a little bit over here. Maybe this way? Maybe it was this way. The beeps were coming from all directions, and then I found it. I began to dig. And I waited, and waited, and waited, and more trash. At this point in my life, I was getting really frustrated, so I took the gold bar, and I floated to the sky extremely slowly. And as I was just above the tree's height, I dropped it. Hoping it would shatter, but it never did such a thing. So I continued my adventures. I went back to the treasure store over and over again. I bought numerous and numerous maps, and I kept hunting because I knew that one day that treasure would finally be mine. Now we had a problem. The beeps were coming from someone's farmland, private property. If I was to enter this, it would be illegally. So I just looked both ways and ran as fast as I could to the beeps. I had to be quick here. The police could be on us at any moment here. I started to dig. Please be a dinosaur arm, I thought. And it was more trash. As I continued my journey, I found a mountain full of trampolines. And then I remembered something that I read earlier in the museum, that there was a treasure somewhere hidden in a mountain full of trampolines. This had to be the spot as my beeper was going off violently. So I looked around, and then I spotted it. An X marks the spot underneath a trampoline. Very sneaky, I thought. So I pushed the trampoline out the way, and I started to dig. It's not the treasure I was looking for, but it would certainly be a treasure that I would need. And let's see. It was. It appeared to be some kind of ancient wheel. With zero hesitation, I lifted the wheel above my head. With great satisfaction, I had yet found another artifact to fulfill my museum. But alas, it was not the one that I wanted or needed. So on the other hand, I grabbed my metal finder, and I went back to work, looking for the mysterious dinosaur arm. Using my very lucky ancient architectural wheel, I located a treasure buried in a very particular spot. So I started digging. And could it have been more trash? The dinosaur arm has eluded me yet again. Suddenly I had hit a bump and my ancient wheel had gone flying across the universe. But I found it, and it wasn't as bad as it had seemed. But if I would have lost this, I would have burnt Grandma's house down probably. I returned to the museum with a "Hello, it's me," and then I turned in my ancient artifactual wheel, and he put it in the display case with the other cavemen, completing 2 out of the 5 ancient architectural treasures that I would need in the future at some point, probably. The hours of the day were quickly ticking by, so I needed a little bit of inspiration, so I came over here to Moo Moo Farms to pet the cows. There, Mr. Cows. I then headed over to Cuckoo Clucker's farm to pet the chickens. Hello, Mr. Chickens. Pet for you. And a peacock to you, Mr. Chickens. And then I was swarmed violently by the chickens, so I exited the pen immediately and realized that chickens are dangerous. So I went back to looking for my dinosaur arm. And after hours of searching, the dinosaur bone was finally mine. I quickly grasped it with 2 hands and didn't do anything stupid to make absolutely sure I would not lose it on my way to the museum. It was only 10 feet away, but I know who I am, so I had to be extra careful here. On my way to the museum, I had a lot of time to ponder. I thought about the times I spent petting the moo cows. I thought about the times I was attacked by a swarm of chickens. Without these things to help me along the way, would I have even gotten this dinosaur arm today? Time would only tell. I climbed the museum stairs with great pride. I approached the giant doors and with a "Hello, it's me," I turned in my dinosaur arm. He said it was a great artifact in such good condition. And then, that completed my Wobblysaurus Rex. It was the last bone we needed for the Wobblysaurus Rex. It's so good to see it complete again, the man told me. And then, he gave me the T-Rex Bones costume. There was only one thing left to do. I put on my dinosaur costume with plans of giving Grandma the scare of her life. I rushed into the house, claws sharp as nails. I hugged her, and she said, "Let me go." Then she grounded me and put me in my room, so I ran up my stairs in tears, and then she told me to end the video, so I did.